What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Con Artist, and right now I'm finally gonna go into an Illuminati video with you guys. I know a couple of my friends and a couple YouTube subscribers have been asking me for a long time to upload what are my thoughts on the Illuminati, or even the secret societies in general, between Freemasonry, Knights of Templar, and other different groups. And my opinion is very different from everybody else's. This seems to me the general consensus for the concept of the Illuminati is that they are a group of wealthy people of power, and they control the world. They control it through money, resources, imagery, politics, and just kind of a little bit of everything. But that's just the way one set of people of their understanding of it. And I'm gonna go ahead and say that I completely disagree with the Illuminati of the way that other people see it, and I'm gonna let you know what I think about it. The number one thing I really think is going on with this thought process of Illuminati, I think it's just a way to distract people, to get people to think in a negative way about life, themselves, and the people around them. Well, so what happens is when you don't know any better and you see that there's a group of powerful people in control, in a way it makes you want to give up, and it gets you thinking to what's the point of life, or what's the point of working, money, moving forward, if there's a group of people trying to control the world in the first place. My whole thing with that is, if we are dealing with a group of people of power that way, why is it taking them so long to do something about controlling the world, whether through monetary system or a chip, mark of the beast type of shit? What's taking them so long? Why do they have to go out of their way to subject the human population to certain ideologies, things that they see on TV? They could be poisoning people through the water, vaccinations, anything. Why do they have to be doing these things if they are in control already? And I don't think that's the case. So if it were up to them, of people in power, they would have done it already. But that's not what's happening. So I really do think it's just a negative outlook on life, honestly. Another thing I want to get into is celebrities. A lot of people see music producers, rap artists, and other celebrities in the media, mainstream media, more alongside with American media, is that they're controlled, or they're part of the Illuminati. That I want to say that's completely 100% false. I don't think any of these people have anything to do with any form of secret society. In a way, it generates revenue, it generates attention for them. So the Illuminati thing, it's a publicity stunt in a way. It's just to gather the attention of the masses, to get people to talk about them and to buy their music or to support their movies. And Beyonce, Jay-Z, and a couple artists come to mind when they bring up these ideas of Illuminati style thinking. All they're doing is attracting attention to their music, so that way you can buy their albums and support them. Thus it generates more money. But you could also see it as maybe they are pawns to some higher group. Who knows? Anything that I discuss with you guys, I am completely 100% open. In the world that we live in, there's a possibility for anything. There are infinite possibilities. We should not think to ourselves that things are impossible. The things that are impossible are the things you can't even think of. Try imagining a new color. You can't, because it's impossible. We're only allowed the spectrum of color that we can perceive with our minds, right? So you couldn't think of a new color if you even tried right now in our current. That is impossible, because there's no way to even understand it if you could even think about it. To touch base on the negative side, if you have a population of people in a negative state of mind, with the outlook on life. You are just damaging yourself in a way, and you're damaging others, because the way you see things, it's promoted through other people as well.
All right, let's go back to what you touched upon earlier, Illuminati.
Go ahead.
Well, okay, from my understanding, it starts back in ancient times, back to Sumeria, where the right of rule was said because, we know why someone was a king or a pharaoh was because of their blood. Their blood came from what they call their gods or the god. So it starts off with a select group of people who already had power ever since the beginning of the dawn of civilization. Well, we can't touch upon too many of these things, but it comes down to this, that a lot of the ruling people in the world have a shared bloodline. So that's something about the Illuminati that you should take into consideration.
And the term Illuminati is just a term, it's Latin for
the illuminated ones.
Illuminated ones.
The ones who contain the true knowledge. And well, if they contain the true knowledge, which is light, light is knowledge, therefore light or lack of knowledge is lack of power. And they basically are taking our power away from us by suppressing light or knowledge that they themselves possess, which we all should, and we would create a better world once we have it. And it's coming out
it's
there.
an illusion. Once we get rid of the illusion of the life that we live in, we'll be able to take control back into our lives. Another thing I want to mention is a lot of the times we have people who are considered quote unquote conspiracy theorists, or people who try to think outside of the box. One issue I have with people like that is they have a tendency to calling other people sheep, or people that just don't know any better, as ignorant, or they don't want to learn anything new, or try to see and perceive life in a different way. And that's a wrong way to do it. In a way, you become what you hate. If you hate these people that are in power, in a way you become one of the elite and have an elitist attitude when you're going around rocking around telling other people that they're stupid, ignorant, and don't know any better, yet you claim to have some sort of knowledge that other people can't understand. And I don't agree with that one bit. There shouldn't be any form of like elitist attitude when it comes to knowing something. If you know something and another person doesn't, fine. There's no point into bashing them with knowing something that you do that they don't.
Better would be to share your knowledge.
It's to share something with other people. If they don't get it or don't agree with you, that's fine. It's not a war of opinion. It's not a war on who's right or who's wrong. I think the main issue today is everyone just wants to be right, regardless it's from religious institutions or just people. People just want to be right. Going back to my friend Isaac's point of elite rulers. Do I think that there is people right now running the planet? Yes, I do. Is it a completely negative or an extreme negative point of view? I don't think it to be that way. I think just the main answer for all of that is that we have selfish people in control of what's going on, and who understand the human mind, who manipulate resources and whatnot. It's just selfish people, because when in reality, if you had an opportunity to do the same thing, a lot of us would be corrupted by our own power. Because absolute power corrupts absolutely. So in a way, we all fall in that regard. You become what you hate. So if you're hating these people, you start to gain their traits and tendencies.
Okay, let's talk about the Illuminati in the music industry and what that really involves. It's okay, the artists that represent the message, like Jay-Z. I'm not trying to bash on them, but if you know, a lot of famous artists, Beyonce, what they're portraying is an image of the ego, a strong ego, which is, you know, love for self, to the point where you make everything about yourself. And they even present it, basically, it's also about materialism, acquiring physical possessions. In a way, it's about killing off our spirituality or suppressing it, because the true nature of existence is spiritual. Yeah, we are forgetting that because we also, we live in a physical plane of existence. If you look at music artists, they're always, talking about how much money they have, how many girls they have, their possessions, and that is subconsciously telling us that makes them a person of value, someone important. And if we don't have that, we're not important. And so, in a way, they're ingraining that mindset in us at a young age to chase physical possessions. It's nothing wrong with that. It's just we spend our entire lives doing this and never ask the bigger questions of what's the meaning of life, what are we here to do, well, what happens when you die? The questions that no one or many people are afraid to ask, or if they ask them, they never touch upon them again. And so that's one way I look at the music industry with the Illuminati. And they blatantly, form little triangles with their hands, and they want you to worship them. If not them, then their image and the information that they represent, which is love of the physical plane, or not trying to advance yourself spiritually.
It's the love of objects, the love of things, the love of possession, and that pretty much alienates being able to enjoy other people for what they are. So like he said, it becomes what I have and what you don't have. So obviously I'm better than you
because I have things.
I have more things than you, and you don't.
It's not true. We're all equally the same. We're all souls.
We're all the same.
Another thing that would help a lot of people is to realize if we are all souls, then we cannot be our bodies. The bodies are an extension of who we are. Yes, we use them in our day-to-day existence, but where are you when you're sleeping, when you're dreaming? Are you in your body? Many would say yes, your dreams all are occurring in your brain, but if you talk to a lot of people, it's really important to share dreams with people you trust, and you will start finding out that there are a lot of strange things that start popping out, tendencies of people having dreams of the future, things that, acquiring information that are outside of their physical senses, and sometimes it being true. So what's going on there? Something for you guys to wonder and seek information on your own.
Another thing I want to bring up is it's the best way to do this is if you're looking into research like this and you dive too deep in the negative side of things, it will consume you. One thing I do recommend which is two things, maybe three things, but the main two I highly recommend is being neutral on everything. Don't take a side 100%. One way that it's right, one way that it's wrong. There's always a possibility of something being right or wrong. Don't be 100% certain on anything. And it's not to be skeptical about absolutely everything. Like, 2 + 2 is 4. The sun comes up and the sun comes down. But when it comes to ideas and what people try to promote, whether in a positive or a negative way, is to take it very lightly and be neutral about it. And the second thing is moderation. Don't do it too much. Too much of anything is bad for you. You can drink a lot of water and you can die from it. The same thing goes with information. It becomes what you do and it takes over your life. And I speak from experience. The whole thing with the Illuminati, when I got into it, when I first started learning about this type of stuff, when I was roughly around 14, and it became my day-to-day life. And whenever, the stuff I just brought up a few minutes ago is why I'm bringing it up now, because I have gone through it. I used to look down on people because I knew something that they didn't, and whenever they didn't want to listen, I felt I was right because they gave up right away and didn't want to hear it. If it happens to me, it can happen to you, and it can happen to other people, and I think that's the problem right now. So we all have to come to an understanding about this.
Another thing about when seeking information, keeping everything neutral. Here's a great way of looking at it. Look at information and keep in your neutral mindset. Consider it like a puzzle piece. If you guys have ever tried assembling like a 1,000-piece puzzle set, you'll realize that, you really can't put it together right away. You have pieces. Sooner or later, pieces will start connecting. Bits of information will start, creating an image. And as you build upon this puzzle, you'll start finding that pieces that just didn't make fucking sense to where to place them start fitting somewhere. And just take it slowly. If you don't, it's like, look at the puzzle piece. You see it, you think in your mind that doesn't go anywhere, and you want to throw it in the trash when all you need to do is be patient And if the time presents itself, if it has any validity, if there's any truth to it, you'll find where it goes. If not, don't worry about it. You'll get to it.
And this is the key thing, is to keep an open mind. There is so much information available. The most important way to find it is through books, because they have been untouched majority of the time, or whatever. Or even the internet. The internet's another good place to find information, but you need to be open-minded and you need to check everything. So we have this guy Alex Jones who runs InfoWars, in case you don't know who he is, and a lot of people think he's a conspiracy theorist or an extremist and to being against the government. So what I've done is I've looked into him, I've read about him, I know about him, and I've heard videos from him, and I've watched them, and I've known about him for a long time. And another thing I've done is look at the negatives about him. Look what other people are saying about this guy that could be right or wrong. And that's the most important thing, is you don't want to be worshiping this guy because he brings up something. Whatever he does or whatever other people do, you can do as well. And I've been able to do that myself. And this is why I'm recording these videos, so you guys understand. So that way you just don't make the same mistakes that I've made up. And if you're young listening to this, let's say between the ages of 14 and 16, this is a lot of information. This is brutal stuff. This is thought-provoking, mind-awakening, bending, whatever information. It changed your outlook on everything.
Oh, there's young people listening. I'll try not to cuss anymore. I'll reduce it.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Make complaints from their mothers. Where'd you learn that word?
Con artist is swearing again.
Unsubscribe.
Unsubscribe, yeah.
We don't want that.
That's no big deal.
No big deal. Let's talk about the Illuminati a little bit more. About how potentially they could be controlling things on multiple levels. If it's happening, it's because they're all working together in some way or form. One thing you guys should look into is the Bilderberg Group and the Council on Foreign Relations and many other organizations where top officials of different countries actually meet together and, you know, supposedly discuss plans for the upcoming year. So they can actually orchestrate, you know, events that seem real, but they were always in on it. If that were true, then it would have to mean that they're, you know, trying to stir humanity in a certain direction. I'm not saying I know what that is for certain, but a lot of people are suggesting that it's a totalitarian, you know, oligarchy that would just control every aspect of our lives. One of those things being with microchips, surveillance, and basically an enslavement of humanity that we would never have imagined in our lives. But it's something that would take, for, you know, quite a bit of time, and it's not going to happen so much as they want it to happen, because people are waking up. Like what we're doing right now, it's making people realize that there's something wrong.
There's more to life than what's being given, what you've been taught, because it's all how you were raised and what you were conditioned to think. We're all brought up to be left-brain thinkers this whole time.
We have a right side of our brain as well.
And the right side is the imagination part of everything, where it's open thinking. Left brain is logical, critical thinking. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't exist, or it's not real, that type of thing. And the whole point of this is just to eliminate that there definitely are infinite possibilities in our world, in the universe, within ourselves.
Infinite possibility. Another thing is, you don't want to be full right brain either. You want balance, neutral. You want to have access to both regions of your
balance
brain.
is key, absolutely. To be balanced on everything. And the third step when I want to bring up is there's being neutral, neutrality, if that's even a word. Is that a word? I don't even know.
It's neither or.
Neither or. Being neutral, moderation, and then compassion. Compassion would probably be the strongest thing for all of us to have.
Forgiveness. Something that we need to learn. We're always attacking others and judging them.
As a species, we're very, very immature and very young, even though we've probably been here for centuries.